Okay, we have another caller there. Tony?
How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
I think it was Nietzsche that said if there was no God, man would have to invent one.
Excellent, yes. I've heard that quote, yes.
But I think this resurgence in spirituality y'all were just talking about, man, he has this fear of the unknown. And I think a lot of our prejudices in society, be it racial, people's sexual orientation, male, female, a lot of it's got to do with we don't take the time to find out about what we don't know. We'd rather just go ahead and be afraid of it and hate it. It's much easier that way. I'm from the South.
Right.
I have relatives that are in the KKK.
That's pretty wild.
I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? But I can see where their prejudices lie, and it's from their fear. They're afraid of what they don't understand.
Ignorance and fear.
And from what I don't know the Klan well, but from what I understand, they use the Bible to support a lot of their positions.
They do.
Too, don't they?
The old Southern Bible. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's a new classification I've never heard of. The old Southern Bible.
They cut out a book, the book of Cletus.
It told you that you were supposed to treat your slaves well, not that owning another person was bad. That you were supposed to treat them well. You know, and it's funny. Abraham. You know, my favorite founding father in this country is Thomas Paine.
Good one.
He is the only one that never owned a slave. He is the only one of our founding fathers that ever wrote that black people and white people would be equal in society, and I include Abraham Lincoln in that. Abraham Lincoln wrote by his very hand that it was not his intention for the black man to ever equal the white man in society. And I don't think most people understand that today. You know what I'm saying? That throughout history, you know, we just played lip service to this egalitarian society, and we need to get on a stick and start, you know, once you come to the realization that we are alone in this universe, now I'm going to bring up Stephen Hawking. Good. Stephen Hawking never went so far as to say that there was a God or there wasn't a God. He left the question open. But he did go so far as to state that we do not live in a static universe. The universe is constantly moving, it's constantly changing. There is no point at which this universe was created. If there is no point at which there was a creation, how can there be a creator?
That's one theory and one philosophy. That if the Big Bang, it seems like there would be a start if you believe in the Big Bang.
Well, the Big Bang has practically been, it's been disproven. There was no Big Bang.
Oh well.
I don't think that's true, but I think it's still a widely held theory of how the universe got to look like it is. But even if there was a Big Bang that we can look back towards, there was something going on before that.
Exactly. Something has always been going on. Mm-hmm. There is no point at which everything was created.
And I want to back up just a little bit and just give you a little amen about Tom Paine. He's so to speak. He's my hero. He was not an atheist. He was a deist.
Exactly.
But we have adopted him because he was rational and
he was a thinker.
That's right. And George Washington heaped praise on him because of the timing of his writings were instrumental in the success of the American Revolution, and he was not a Christian.
No, and he helped inspire the French Revolution.
Yes,
and wound up almost going to the guillotine from the very revolution he inspired. He had to call write Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and Benjamin Franklin to get him out of prison in France.
So, do you consider yourself an atheist?
You know, it's hard for me to say that there is nothing out. To me, the totality of the universe is God. Everything out there is God. Now, you know, is an amoeba aware that it's an amoeba, part of a bigger organism? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a great fan of Ayn Rand and Leonard Peikoff, objectivity. I don't think that there is a conscious entity in this universe that directs our destiny. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe in predetermination.
And Ayn Rand, by the way, is one of us.
Yes, thank you.
Very clearly.
Thank you very much.
One of us.
Yes.
So as far as the Jehovah God goes, yes, I'm an atheist.
Okay.
You know, I think that each one of us, we're not gods, but we're human beings, and we're conscious of the fact that we are human beings.
Right.
A dog is not conscious of the fact that it's a dog.
Let me ask you something, Tony. How do you feel about the Religious Freedom Amendment?
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. The Istook Amendment. Please educate yourself on that, because your representatives and the Senate are going to be voting on that in May here.
We got a copy of it, right?
It's a real short one here. Allow us to read this to you, Tony.
Educate me, please.
This is introduced by Representative Ernest Istook of Oklahoma, and as soon as I get this,
okay.
And it's H.R. Resolution 78, the Religious Freedom Amendment reads, quote, "To secure the people's right to acknowledge God according to the dictates of conscience, neither the United States nor any state shall establish any official religion, but the people's right to pray and to recognize their religious beliefs, heritage, or traditions on public property, including schools, shall not be infringed. Neither the United States nor any state shall require any person to join in prayer or other religious activity, prescribe school prayers, discriminate against religion, or deny equal access to a benefit on account of religion."
It sounds simple enough there, but our strongest thing, like I said,
though.
It's a mess.
What'd you say, Tony? I'm sorry.
It's the lawyer ease they're using, though.
No, that part, no, because I've seen a lot worse about lawyers than that. It's pretty straightforward on that. Our biggest thing is we don't like having God on our money. We don't have God in the Constitution. There is no reason whatsoever for any amendment whatsoever to stick the word God in it.
I agree. I agree completely. The country, one of the founding principles was separation of church and state.
Exactly.
We didn't have, and God would trust on our money until the 30s.
Well, no, in the 50s.
That was the paper currency, and it was 1862.
Right. The 30s was when we went off the gold standard.
Right.
Yep.
Have you seen? Did you go to the Laser Light Show last night?
No,
Was it good? They synchronized the Wizard of Oz to the Dark Side of the Moon and all that. Do you know where the movie The Wizard of Oz came from?
No.
It's an analogy to falling off the gold standard and the setting up of the Federal Reserve Corporation. The man
I've heard 20 different analogies.
Follow the yellow brick road. Now, come on, how much? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I appreciate that.
Next time you watch that movie, think about that.
I've seen it a bunch of times, and I get it's been. There's so many different analogies. That's the newest one I've heard on that one. I wasn't laughing at you. It was just funny. All the different.
Exactly.
I just remember that when I was a little kid, the monkeys were real scary.
Yes.
Very scary, weren't they?
But as an adult, seeing that, you know what I'm saying, and have reading about the populist movement and the getting away from the gold standard, it all makes sense. And that was the first movie ever in color. Did you know that?
Yeah, exactly. Another thing I was going to point out to you was at the same time they were putting God on our money, they actually put God into the Pledge of Allegiance at that same time. One nation under God was not part of the Pledge of Allegiance until the 50s.
Well, to me, the idea of one nation, that's what Hitler said, man. Yeah. One nation, We are a nation of individuals that come together to make up the country. We are not a country that is broken down into individuals. Just like a pyramid, you don't build it from the top up, the top down. You build it from the bottom up.
Right.
If we didn't have each individual, we wouldn't have the community. I don't think that the community exists outside the individual.
Well, we do appreciate your call.
Thanks.
Thank you for letting me call.
You have a good day.
All right, y'all too.